Hello everybody, this is Nasser Krillis Kalanidy again, and today we're going to be going over how to use a sprite to draw anything you want while the program is running, using the arrow keys. So, as you could see, it's not a hard program to write out. We have everything already set up for you guys so that you guys can see how convenient and easy it is. And we already have a sprite right here on the stage area, and it's at the origin where we told the program to put it, right at 0, 0, the very center of the stage. And you can see we have a nice colorful little beetle thing right there. It's like a little scarab. Look at that. It's a pretty weird thing, isn't it? But anyway, it's going to be drawing our shapes and whatever we want it to draw. So, let's give it our undivided attention. So, as with any program, we go to our Events tab, drag and drop the Events block to start our program. And for this, we go to the Motion tab. So, we drag and drop the Go to X and Y coordinate block, drag that under our Events tab, or our Events block. Go to Point and Direction, and we set that to 0 because we don't want it to point 90 degrees or negative 90 degrees or any type of degrees. We just want it to stay there. And we set the pen color to red so that we could see it. Red is a very easy color to see, and that's the pen color we chose. And if you want to change that, obviously you just click on it, drag and drop, and that's the color that you chose, green. So you could go over any color in Scratch and choose that color for your pen. Set the pen size to 3 so we could see it, so it's not too thin, so it doesn't look like dental floss on the screen, right? Put the pen down because we don't want to write in the air. Just remember, when you're drawing something in real life, you can't draw it in the air. You have to put the pen on the paper or the pen on the stage in order to draw it out. And we set clear because you don't want to run the program with a bunch of doodles all over your stage when you start. You want it to be clear, you want it to be nice and neat, sort of like writing a paper. You don't give it to your teacher with a bunch of doodles under it and just say, hey, here's my essay, or here's my paper. No. Get a nice clean sheet of paper, write your essay, hand it off to your teacher. And of course, we have our arrow key scripts right here. So as you can see, for each one of these, we have an events block. Now, why do we have an events block, you might ask? Like, Nasser, doesn't an events block start the program? Well, yes, it does. And not only does it do that, but it also runs any script under it once this action has been met. So once I press the up arrow, it'll move 10 steps in whatever direction the sprite is pointed at. And the down arrow move down or go in reverse 10 steps, negative 10 steps. The right arrow will turn 90 degrees clockwise. Remember, when it's this way, it's clockwise, or it's going the same way a clock would go. And when it's that way, it'll go counterclockwise, or sort of like opposite a clock, or anti-clock, like the enemy of a clock, the evil twin of a clock. But yeah, so we wanted to turn clockwise 10 degrees when we click on the right arrow, and we wanted to turn counterclockwise 10 degrees when we click on the left arrow. So let's go over it again. So you have your events block, you have your motion block, so go to X, Y, set those both to 0. Point in direction 90 right here, set that to 0. Go to your pen tab, set pen color equal to whatever you want. Now, if you watched the polygon video, you'll know that we could either set the pen color using the cursor or the mouse, as you can see moving around on the screen, or we could set it to whatever argument we want it to be. So if I were to use this, for example, instead of this, I can now put in a number instead of choosing a color for our pen color. So let's say I want it to be 120. So you'll see what that does in a minute. And of course, we set pen down, which is right here. And we use the clear block to clear out any previous drawings on the screen that we had. And for each arrow, we go back to our events block, or our events tab, I'm sorry. And we drag this block right here. Now this block says, when you see it first, you'll see it says when space key is pressed. But remember, with these blocks that have the arrows on them, or the arrows next to them, you could click on the arrow and choose whatever key you want, or whatever option is given to you. So we can go all the way down and use the number 1, for example, or we can leave it the way it is with the up, down, right, and left arrow keys. And we just drag that back to erase that, and we drag this back to get rid of that. So we have our up arrow, so that will move 10 steps in whatever direction the sprite is pointing at. Now that means that it doesn't have to be pointing up to move 10 steps, it could also be pointing right or left, and if we press the up arrow, it will be moving 10 steps in that direction. Press the down arrow, it'll move the opposite way, in the same direction. So on the same axis, or on the same plane that we have it pointed to. You have turn right, or turn clockwise 10 degrees when we press the right arrow. So of course you have your events block, which is when space key is pressed, change that to right arrow. And then you go to motion, and you have turn clockwise, and we set that to 10 degrees. And when we have the left arrow, which you use for this block as well, and we can do it counterclockwise 10 degrees as well. So that's the opposite of the right arrow. So let's get started. Let's see what happens when we run our program. So as you can see, I'm clicking on the left arrow. Well, you can't see my keyboard, but I am. I'm clicking on the left arrow, and it's going counterclockwise 10 degrees for the amount of times that the left arrow is pressed. And when I press up, it goes 10 degrees in the direction that it's pointed in. If I were to press down, it goes back. Sort of like a car, it goes in reverse. But don't try this on a car. And as you could see, we made a little maze shape thingy. Yep, our beetle just made a little shape that we don't know what it is. Pretty cool, right? So, press the right arrow. Goes clockwise. Press the left one. It's counterclockwise. Right is clockwise. Left counterclockwise. Up goes in the direction that it's pointed to. Back goes opposite that, goes in reverse. And that's pretty much it. So as you can see, we have everything set up. Nothing too difficult, nothing too hard. You guys can easily do this, and never doubt yourselves. Okay? So, don't forget to click like on the bottom of this video, click subscribe to get updates on the YouTube channel and to be part of the YouTube channel, and leave comments below if you want to. Yeah. And this is Nasser, signing off.